friends! Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to a chill stream where I have no set agenda. We're kind of just going to hang out, answer questions, talk about stuff. This could turn into like an afternoon tea or something like that, but I haven't streamed in a while. I did want to stream, and yes, so here we are. Hello. Ivan, hello. Welcome to the stream. Ran, Andy, hello. Welcome. Ray, welcome. If you're watching live, say hello. I did put a link in the description to Slido, and you can ask questions on here, and then people can upvote them. And I'm totally open to doing like a Q&A, like if you want to ask questions about me, if you want to ask questions about some of the videos that I've done, if you want to ask a code question, I can maybe talk about that kind of stuff. But this is going to be a very loose stream, not much scheduled. Good afternoon, Nish. Hey, Ran. I have found a supplier of yerba mate in the area, so that's a good thing. I think I'll do this because it was funny. So today, on my way over here to set up and stream, I took the L train, which is a train that runs east and west here in New York, and the sign said that the train was coming in Nan minutes. And I don't know, it was just funny. The train took a really long time to come. Like, it kept saying like 1 minute, Nan minutes. It took like 20 minutes before the next train actually came. But yeah, you can check out our Discord if you want to see those images, which reminded me of a subreddit called Public Blue Screen of Death. And this is where people post pictures of like computer systems that have blue screen of death or like are showing errors in public, and it's just pretty cool because like I guess like New York especially we have like giant screen displays all over the place, and every now and then you'll see one like pop up with an error in the wild. I don't know. Charles, hello, you're very welcome. Merchan, you're watching. Hello, welcome. Andy is asking, did I find a GitHub mustache sticker, or did I put a mustache on top of the GitHub? It's a great question. I think we're talking about this one. I put a mustache on top of a GitHub sticker. And for those of you that are wondering, where I get all of my stickers are redbubble.com. If you just search for like JavaScript stickers, they have all kinds of dev stickers and geek stickers and stuff like that. This is actually where I have my Coding Garden stickers hosted. Let's see if you can see them. Yes, so if you just search Coding Garden on Redbubble, you can actually find links for, here, can I view this? Yes, for all the different Coding Garden style stickers. You can get a sticker. You can even get a large sticker and like put it on your refrigerator or your skateboard or something like that. Wait, I think it shows medium, like on an iPad. But you could also get it on t-shirts. I just want to show how outrageous the things I was able to create with my logo. Like this, a graphic t-shirt with just like a repeated there's a slight buzz. Okay, let me fix it. Try to fix it. No, I think I might need to get a new audio USB interface because this one seems to be having issues. Watch your ears. Actually, I'll mute it before I unplug it, but I'm gonna use a different mic. Hello? Hello. Okay, let me. There's probably less of a buzz, but it's not as high a quality microphone. So let me know how that sounds. Christian, hello. Welcome to the stream. Sounds like a bee. Cool. But what I was showing was these like random apparel that I was able to create with like the Coding Garden logo. So there's this outrageous like dress. Yeah. Like if somebody bought this and like took a picture of themselves wearing it, I would like pay them money. Like this is hilarious. Let's see what else there is. Well, you could also get a comforter. You can get a mini skirt with, with the logo on it. Home decor. Yeah, let's get a wall tapestry with the Coding Garden logo all over it. I don't know. Yeah, Christian. Yeah, so Christian is a mod over on the Coding Train channel. Or thanks for stopping by. Yeah, today is just a random Hangout stream, though. It's been a while since I've streamed. I haven't really been able to prepare anything, so we're kind of just hanging out. Has anyone asked a question? Ooh, from Anonymous, how is the move going? I got my keys today, and I'll be going to my apartment. I can officially go over there at like 3 p.m. I'm going to stream for like an hour or two, and then I'm going to head over there. Actually, like right now, I have a suitcase full of clothing with me. That's all I have with me. So probably before I go over there, I'm gonna go get like some sheets for my bed and like a comforter and stuff like that. And this person said, test. Cool. I think I can archive it. But yeah, the move is going decent. I actually stayed in a really nice hotel last night. Let me show you on the maps. It was called One Central Park Hotel. So I got like an amazing deal. There's a website where you can buy hotel stays from people that can't go on the trip anymore. And a lot of times when you buy a hotel, it's like non-refundable. So I did not pay this much. I paid less than that and stayed at this really nice hotel where my hotel card was like an RFID wood chip. It was like reclaimed wood and it was an RFID. They had complimentary Tesla rides outside of the hotel. It was very similar to a room that I stayed in. I don't know. It was nice to just treat myself after I've been like staying at Airbnbs and stuff like that. And finally today I'll move into an apartment, so that was fun. What's happening in the chat? Ivan asked, did I move to New York for work? Yes, so I moved to work at a place called Galvanize. So I had been working at Galvanize, and then I left, and now I've come back for a few months to help out with a cohort that they have here. But I am teaching in the web development immersive program here in New York. It's a 24-week program. I've come to help out for the last 2.5-ish months of their cohort. Right now, they're learning React. And then the next quarter is going to be like computer science and interview prep, that kind of stuff. But yes, I'm teaching that. Yeah, Ivan says they stayed at the One Hotel Brooklyn Bridge. That was another one. It's in the same family, but they're all about recycled and reused and renewable stuff. So like even though it was like fancy, everything was stamped with like reclaimed wood, like it's being reused, or like the floors used to be like a gym in a high school basketball gymnasium or something like that. Yeah. But yes, I'm working here. It's really cool. That's the space that I'm in right now. It's a pretty busy place. There's people all around, and it's a Sunday and people are still like working, but I'm basically in a meeting room where you can reserve time, but then there are people that rent offices here and they have open co-working space, and then I have a dedicated classroom, but the lighting isn't as good in there, so I like to set up over here. Let's see, any other questions? Cool. If there are no other questions, I'm gonna browse the web a little bit, see what's new. Interesting. Mentor a high school student who is getting credit to learn JavaScript on their own. Hey, Reddit devs. I and a developer buddy of mine started a program called Code Apprentice. Very interesting. to get more high school students from small communities interested in coding and careers in tech. We've designed this program so that the schools we're working with will give credit to their students for teaching themselves how to code on their own using the online resources we provide. Very interesting. Let's look at their website. Developing the next generation of tech talent. This is pretty cool. I'm curious, like what locations they've set up. Oh, and definitely, Andy has a question, some advice. I can definitely give some advice there. That's actually very similar to the very first job that I had in the software world. So the question is, since we're doing random topics, would you mind giving some advice to an entry-level software engineer who's about to start in Visual Studio with C# and WinForms? So let's just Google it so the people of the world can see it. So WinForms is actually typically I want to say it's an outdated technology, outdated in that they are no longer developing on it and adding new features to it. Pretty sure. However, there are lots of large companies out there that have enterprise applications and internal applications that were built using WinForms. So even newer developers still have to support them. But basically, it's a way of building desktop applications for Windows computers. I would say, and really C# and a large UI-based code base was how I learned about software architecture and object-oriented programming. So my first piece of advice would be to explore the code base. So you're probably on some new project. I would hope it's an existing WinForms app. Oh, making new WinForms at Vertafore. Okay, but I would say if you have access to some existing projects, just go source code diving. So go into these giant code bases and see how they do things. See how things are connected and how it's actually working. I spent months just learning a code base so well that 3 months into the job, it became I became the owner of that code base. And I attribute everything I know about software architecture and object-oriented design to that code base because I had to get in, I had to learn it, and then I had to add features onto it. So don't be afraid of large code bases. That's my first point of advice. And also, if it's a brand new project, ask them maybe if they would use WPF. So WPF is actually what I used. It's called Windows Presentation Foundation. I think even this has been deprecated, but it's a more modern way of building UIs on the Microsoft platform rather than using WinForms. Interesting point here. WPF was one of the first frameworks to introduce two-way data binding, and this is actually where AngularJS got inspired to do two-way data binding, was how WPF did it. And then all of modern front-end frameworks and stuff like that work in a very similar way, but these guys did it first. I'm kind of rambling. Don't be afraid to look at large code bases. I would learn or attempt to learn, especially if C# is new to you, really what is C#, because C# is running inside of a virtual machine, and that's what allows it to be cross-platform. So really learning about the .NET virtual machine and what's really happening with your source code and the apps that you build, that's another place I would go into. I wouldn't say don't spend too much time doing that because technically you don't really have to know much about that to be productive with C#. But once I did start to learn about those things, you can do some really interesting things in C#, like reflection, or iterating the properties of a class instance, which in most statically typed languages you can't do things like that, but in C# you can. I don't know. I'm rambling. Andy says, it's a 15-year-old platform. I'll be working and making new stuff. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, if you are making new stuff, if they don't know about WPF, I would say, hey, this is the more modern thing. There might be a way to be like to do like two-way data binding in WinForms, but I don't know, maybe. Yeah, and Merchan is recommending cross-platform APIs when developing a GUI. So, for example, Qt. I think a company like Vertafore is a very large enterprise, and they seem to be, at least as far as I know, like in the Microsoft ecosystem. So it makes sense for them to use something like this. But if you are building cross-platform UIs, something like Qt, which you develop with C++, I believe, would be something that you could use. Or maybe even, like, it's a stretch, but maybe recommend using something like Electron, depending on like what they're trying to build. But I think I've talked to some former students that work at Vertafore, and I think they were doing like Angular 1. So like you could build an Electron app that actually has Angular running inside of it and like reuse existing code. I don't know. You may not be in a position to make those kind of decisions. Oh, a cool question from Carlos. What extensions do I use in VS Code for linting and themes? So I'll point you to a GitHub repo. VS Code, it's on. I'll find it. But I made a repo recently with all of the extensions that I use in VS Code, and then all of my VS Code settings. Here they are. And actually, I'll spin up VS Code real quick and show an example. Whoa, so much stuff. I want to look at like an existing code base so I can like show some of these features. Actually, let's just go into code katas. There's a bunch of like random files in here. Let's go to last week's, or no, Wednesday's. That was a couple days ago. There's more really good questions, but let me talk about VS Code real quick. So, the theme that I am using is called Seti Monakai, right here. And actually, yeah, I'll throw this link in the YouTube chat real quick. So this repo has links to the extensions and then all of the themes that I use. So I use Seti Monakai. This is the closest I have found. So if you watch some of my older videos, I used to use Atom, and I had a really cool syntax highlighting in there. It was called Brahala syntax. It's one of my favorites. I really should just recreate it. But Seti Monakai is one of the closest things I found to this, and so I've just been using that. And the other thing about VS Code was for linting. So I do have ESLint installed. And so you may notice, like, even on a code kata stream, like, I don't have any ESLint file set up. I have a global ESLint file that I created, and ESLint in code will automatically pick up those settings. So let's look at my ESLint here. I think it does by default. So basically, if it finds an ESLint file in your home directory, it automatically uses that when you're working on JavaScript files. So if you watch my stream, you may know that I like semicolons. So if I leave off a semicolon, ESLint normally kicks in. Why isn't it kicking in? Hey. Well, regardless of that, I can also... Something's broke. Typically, even when I'm on a blank file, ESLint will use my my global settings. I can show what those settings are real quick too. I think it's my ESLint RC. Or is it the JS one? Wonder why I have two. It's the .js one. I could probably delete the other one, but I have a few globals in there, so if I'm like testing, it doesn't throw errors about that, or if I'm using jQuery. I am extending the ESLint recommended linting settings. I use a two-space tab. I use single quotes, and I use semicolons. So those are my settings. I could probably throw these settings up on GitHub as well. I feel like this is the first time that my linter has not kicked in, and I'm very curious why. Because one thing I can normally do is like if I copy and paste code from somewhere, I can do fix all auto-fixable problems, and it uses my linter file to like add semicolons, to change double quotes to single quotes, but that's not working. Let's look at their settings real quick. ESLint.enable is enabled by default. Let's make sure it's enabled. True. It says it's enabled by default. That should just work. Yeah, I don't know. I'll debug this another time, but I feel like this is almost the first time that I've not actually seen ESLint settings. And just real quick, I'll tell you some of my favorite plugins. So the font I use is Anonymous Pro. If you're working in HTML, these things are beautiful. Auto close tag. So like, if I create a new HTML file, you can just create like a basic one. But if I do, so I do use snippets, but if I were to create like an opening tag like this, the moment I close it, it instantly creates a closing one. And then another cool one is auto rename tag. So if I start renaming to this to like some other, what? This is, it's supposed to start renaming this one too, and it doesn't. I don't know, everything's broke right now, don't know why. That's one of my favorite ones. And then also Quokka, which you might have seen me use on my Codekata stream, and this is a tool that will run your code inside of VS Code. And it'll actually like show console logs. So anytime you console log something, it'll show you the output of that, which is pretty cool. And so like right here, and because this code particularly is running multiple times. Oh. Not this one. It's telling me this code isn't being run because I overrode it with a different one. But any code that runs multiple times, you'll actually see every single console log that it outputs. So this is called Quokka.js. It's linked down here. Cool. So enough of that. ZZT Production DIY and Gaming is asking, what are your thoughts on Firefox? I see you're using DuckDuckGo, so it's kind of weird you're on Chrome. I love Firefox. Firefox is great. I love the Mozilla Foundation. I used Firefox for a very long time. If you've been a developer for a while, like Firefox was the thing to use for a very long time. And there was like this extension called Firebug, which is basically all of the modern tools that Chrome DevTools has. Like Firebug had it first. Yeah, so the story of Firefox and Firebug are synonymous with the rise of web. So yeah, I love Firefox. I've just been hooked on Chrome since it came out because it was like faster and better. But now it seems like Firefox, especially like Firefox Developer Edition, is just as fast, better for developers. I don't know. I should probably switch. But I do like using DuckDuckGo, and I don't use I try not to use Google search as much. So if you've ever seen me search for something like split string in JavaScript, it shows up on DuckDuckGo, and I can jump out to Google if I want to using the bang command. So if you do bang, all these different search engines are built in here, so I can jump from DuckDuckGo to Google or Wikipedia or GitHub or anywhere else. But I like Firefox. I should probably use it. I have no excuse to not use it. Question from Rohit. Is it good to build a front end on React Native or back end? I don't know, suggest me which one to be used. So if you're using React Native, then that's like the front end technology. And if you're using something like React Native, your back end would most likely be like a JSON API. But then it is possible to like server-side render React, and if you're doing that, then you wouldn't do something like React Native. You would just have your app in a web browser and the server would render that. Interesting. Maybe expand on your question a little bit more, Rohit. Mayur is asking, what do I think of Vue Native? So I have heard that Vue Native is really just a wrapper on top of React Native. So basically, so if you're not familiar with React Native lets you write React components that then compile down to native UI elements. So like the actual input you would see on an iPhone, or the actual input you would see on an Android device. But you write it using like web technologies and it compiles down to native UI. Vue Native, as far as I know, basically takes your Vue components, compiles them into React components, and then those React components are shown on the native UI. So this is like a wrapper on top of React Native so that you can use Vue.js. I haven't used it. I don't know how well it works, but there's also native script, and then there's a framework called Weeks as well. So Weeks, I believe, comes from Alibaba, because they're really big users of Vue.js. I hope that's the right company, something like that. But Weeks is built from the ground up to do what React Native is, to build native UIs with Vue.js. And it's not a wrapper on top of React Native, it's just a separate project. So there's Weeks, then there's also Native Script. And Native Script just works with various other front-end technologies. I think you could even use like vanilla JavaScript if you wanted to, but it compiles down to native UIs. And they recently released integration with Vue.js. I have not tried any of these. I just know that they exist. I definitely have it on the list of things that I want to try. I think I have my Trello board up here. Yeah, so on the list of ideas and suggestions, Native Script with Vue is there, React Native is there. Probably might want to do Vue Native too, maybe even Weeks. I don't know. I want to try these things on stream. I just haven't yet. So I don't have an official opinion on this. I just know that what I've heard is this is written on top of React Native versus these things which are just like standalone. Robin, hello. Welcome to the stream. Dino says, happy July 1st from Daniel, Kristen, and the cats. Appreciate it. It is officially July. Time is moving fast. It is hot. Let me see. Like, what is the weather today? Oh, I'm gonna use a Bang feature. WG NYC. So WG is Weather Underground. So that will jump me to Weather Underground. 93 degrees. I've been like bouncing all around town today, and I was just drenched in sweat. It's pretty chill in the building here, so I've cooled down, but it's very hot. Very hot. Oh yeah, and Ivan is asking why I don't like Google search. It's mainly a privacy thing, and the fact that every link you click on is like they track that you click that link. So like let's search Google for JavaScript split string. And to back up a little bit, Robin is saying I didn't have an ESLint.rc file. I mean, I had it in my home directory. Maybe they made an update where they're not looking at it anymore. That could be it. So maybe I need to create one in the folder itself, or like change a setting to tell it where to look. I'll look into that. But if we click a link, you know what? I might have did I create a plugin that disables it? No, but typically when you click a link on Google, it takes you through your servers and then to the link itself. Let's watch the URL bar right here when we click this. No, it just goes directly there. I don't know if I have something that's disabling it, but by default, when you search on Google, every single link you click is tracked. So that's the main thing. I don't like being tracked on the web. I don't have a Facebook. I try to stay logged out of most services if I'm not using them. That's the main thing. And DuckDuckGo is Privacy simplified. So they don't track you. You can turn off ads in the settings. You can make it so that your search requests are a post request instead of a GET request. Because the other thing about your query being in the URL is if your internet service provider is tracking your web traffic, even if you're talking to a site that is HTTPS, they can still see the URL of the request. So technically they could still see what you're searching for. But on DuckDuckGo, if you turn on post requests, your search is, search queries are included in the URL. If off, searches will, yeah, so I think I have it on. So if I search for hello world, it's a quick stretch, the search query is in the body of the request. So unless someone is decrypting my traffic, they actually don't see what the search terms are either. So now when I search for this, notice the URL is blank. If you search from the URL bar, the search term is going to show up. But anytime you search in here, it will be hidden. Cool question from Satinder. Is there something you can't do in node.js, but on other server-side languages like Python or Go? What would you choose between Node or some server-side language? I think one thing about Node.js is your code is running on the Node runtime, so it has to be like just-in-time compiled when the code is actually running, versus something like Go, which is natively compiled. So like when you build your app, it is pretty close to the metal and might run a bit faster. So there's that one limitation of Node.js. That said, the thing I really like about Node is, and especially for building backend APIs, JavaScript object notation is like native to JavaScript, right? And it has become the language of the web. So even if you're building a backend API with like Python or Go, ultimately at the end of the day, you're going to be generating JSON. So because that's like native to JavaScript, a lot of the things that you have to do in other like statically typed languages, like actually create a class that represents the result that you're sending back, or create a class that represents the response that's being parsed in the body. That's a lot of extra work that you have to do in some of these statically typed compiled languages. That said, by doing that, you have more type checking, you have more safety around that. But in Node.js, it's really, really easy to prototype and just get up and going. And that's one of the things I like about it. I can't exactly speak to like what you can't do in Node that you can do in those other things. Python is very similar though, so because it's not it is dynamically typed, right? You can put anything in a variable, but can you reassign a variable of a different type to another type? I don't know. My Python is rusty, but Python is similar in that you can generate dynamic objects very easily, like you can with Node. I don't know. Wemo is saying eslint.working directories. Let's try it. I think if I start typing it on the right-hand side, it'll tell me. Oh, eslint.working directories. And this should be the name of the file, maybe? There might be another setting for like, let's see, eslint dot node path options provided lint task. What's under options? No. Let me read about working directories. ESLint.working. It doesn't even tell me. Not sure if that'll do it. I might look it up. Hey, Ghosts. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Rand says, resistance is futile. Is that about like why I in my the way I talk about Node or like using Node? I don't know. Let's see. Are there any questions that popped in here? Cool. Similar idea. Would you ever do anything non-web related doing a project in C or Rust? Yes. The only thing is my backlog and like ideas and the things I'm currently working on, they're all web related. I think I want to fit some things into there that aren't, because this is the coding garden. It's not the web coding garden. I do want to branch out. And in my past, I have done like C, C++, done Java, C#, Python. So yes, it would be cool to explore other things as well. Cool. I got a lot of tabs open. Ooh, Myra thing is helping out. So ESLint options. Let's try it. And then config file is wherever your ESLint file is. Let's see. All right, let me turn Quokka off. It's not showing errors. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the location of my ESLint RCJS. Yes, it is. Yeah, not sure. Oh, Ryan is saying about hiding on the web. Satinder's asking, talk about the trend of AI in web development. Yeah, artificial intelligence, machine learning, neural networks. It's a big hot topic right now. Saying reload the window. Let's try it. Reload window. It should complain about my semicolons. Material theme was updated. Don't save. I'll debug this at another time. Because this should complain about single quotes versus double quotes and then no semicolon. Yeah, I don't know why. Cool idea. Okay. Is there an interesting coding thing that I could do? Let me see how long I've been streaming. Yeah, I've been streaming like 41 minutes. Lots of really good questions. Talked about a lot of random stuff. I want to code a little bit of something. Rohit did have the suggestion to code something World Cup based. Actually, there's a game happening right now, right? FIFA World Cup. Yes, right now Croatia versus Denmark. One versus one. It's at the 60-minute mark, so there's like 30 minutes left. We could work on... So the thing about building a real-time score feature is football games don't score very much. So like, how do we know it's actually working? I could do something just talking about like undocumented APIs, because I've done some browsing and FIFA World Cup actually does have an API that will give you all the stats for current games. So that'd be interesting. Oh, Sharon is asking, when am I going to do a Facebook Messenger clone tutorial? I don't have a specific time just yet, but I think there was something in here for something like doing a Discord or a Slack clone, which would be somewhat similar to there it is, Facebook Messenger clone. It's in the works. And like the past 2 weeks, I have not been streaming regularly at all. In terms of my plans for things, I want to finish out these video series because I have a little bit of work to do on these apps. And then there were some suggestions by donors and patrons, so I definitely want to get to those. And then I'll start thinking about some of these other things. I maybe want to create a schedule into the future of things that I'm going to be working on. At the same time, often things take me longer than I thought they would. So I don't want to like get behind. Basically, there's a big backlog. We're going to choose some things and eventually start working on them. So it's 1-1 Croatia, Denmark. Oh, I see. Because it's Denmark. Christian is from Denmark, or living in Denmark at least. Satender with the deep questions. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything else. Yeah, I start talking about World Cup in the chat. It gets a little bit harder to follow. Satender, can you? So I'll answer this one, and then let's find an undocumented API and build like a simple app with Vue.js that like shows the latest score for the current match. I'll just do that. That'll be fun. But the question is, can you tell us about your background and your goal for the next 5 years? Yes, so my background is I got a degree in computer science from Louisiana Tech University, and I worked in the oil and gas industry for about 3.5 years as a software engineer. I worked on data visualization, data analytics, batch processing, and eventually started building full stack apps in my spare time. I was doing like official things for work, but like nobody had asked me to build them as like JSON APIs or full stack apps. But I had the foresight. I was like, okay, we could keep building these desktop apps that only work on Windows and only work on desktop. Or if we build these JSON APIs, we can build clients for anything. So we can build web clients and iOS clients, and then people can take the apps with them into the field. And so that really got me interested in full stack web apps and this idea of like JSON APIs with multiple different kinds of clients. That was like official stuff, but like growing up, I was always interested in computers and technology, and I was the go-to computer fixer person, but I always wanted to know more about not only fixing computers, but like this software that I'm troubleshooting and fixing, how does it actually work? And I wanted to make my own. So that's what really got me into it. And then about roughly 3 years ago, when I left oil and gas, I was looking for my next thing. I thought about starting a company, or thought about really just thought hard about where I wanted to work and who I wanted to code for and what I wanted to code on. But then I found Galvanized and decided to try my hand at teaching, and people liked the way I teach, and it went really well, so I taught there for about 2.5 years. Then I took a break, again, didn't know what I wanted to do, and started streaming more often. I was streaming like once a week-ish when I was working at Galvanize, but when I left there, I wanted to do it more often, and really, like, I don't have a 5-year plan, but I do want to stream as much as possible, and if possible, make a living off of just streaming. Right now, it's like not possible. Like, there's not enough interest. There's not enough, like, at least right now for me, like revenue channels. Like I could get sponsors. I do have my patrons and donations, but I would still need somewhat of a day job to be able to like keep living. But long term, I would love to do this. I would like to do something like a live streamed remote coding school. Like I give, like, instead of just like random projects like I've been doing, what if I do actual lessons on coding and different, very similar to the lessons I give here, but just like live on the internet. And maybe you can pay a subscription fee for that or something like that. I don't know, but that's where my mind's at. And Clemmy is playing Tuesday. Okay, so great questions. Are there any other questions? Not. Okay, here's what I want to do. I'm going to make a to-do list of what I want to do. FIFA app. Wait, did I close? Oh, let me. And Paradise Blood is saying like a MOOC. Yes, like a MOOC, but I don't know. I haven't so I've seen MOOCs. I've signed up for them, but I just haven't like committed and actually like completed one. But I kind of want it to be more interactive than that. Like the Discord that we have gets a lot of people chatting and asking for help. So I want there to be some sort of dynamic like that. I want to be able to like stop in the middle of a live stream and answer questions that are in chat. Like a lot of what I've learned about teaching and the way I like to teach is interactive. Like I don't, the old term is sage on the stage. Like the instructor gets up there, they talk for 2 hours, and then you go home, you study, and you come back and you do the test. I don't like that. I like it to be interactive. I like you to do exercises, and then I can, I mean, if we're not in person, but when we're in person, I like to like walk around and help you out. And part of doing the exercise yourself is like, okay, you saw it. It somewhat made sense when I talked about it, but can you now take that and do it yourself? And then I'm there to help if you need it. I want to figure out like, how can we do that over the web and remotely? Yeah, active learning is what Rand is saying. Absolutely. And I don't know. I don't know. I want it to be that way, and that's my goal. So that's where I would like to differ from a MOOC, because a MOOC I feel like is traditional like college education, but just for the masses. And traditional college education is to just watch somebody talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I don't want that. Yeah, Christian is saying quality varies, and it's very hard for large courses to keep that face-to-face feel. Because I know some MOOCs have like thousands of students. And then also, because they're not, typically like for a free MOOC, you're not paying anything for it, you have different levels of engagement. So like some students are there and engaged and doing the exercises, and others have just kind of like signed up but aren't really like participating. So, I don't know. Let's make an app. So what I want to do is find an undocumented, I feel like I had spell check in here too. I think VS Code is just messing up. Undocumented API on FIFA website. Show latest scores for the current game. And play a sound if a goal is made. Don't know if it's going to happen, and the game is only going to last how much longer? 20 minutes, so we got to build this fast. But before we do that, I am really not much of a sports fan, but soccer's fun. But there's this really funny video that Mitchell and Webb made about sports and soccer. Yeah. I'm going to play this real quick.
Tomorrow night on Sky Sports 4, it's the clash of the South Coast as the irresistible force of Portsmouth meet the immovable object of Southampton in a clash that's going to go down in history as one of the many football matches that are happening this weekend. Meanwhile, there are old scores to be settled at the Dell. Scores like 1-0 and 2-2 that have happened in previous years. Who will win this time between Sunderland and Blackburn? Then on Sunday, live, the battle for the Northwest at Shrewsbury meet Macclesfield in a match already being described as on this Sunday.
Okay, I'll slack the link. I don't know if you can hear it very well. And yes, Peep Show, one of my favorite shows, and both Mitchell and Webb that are in that show do like a sketch comedy show. But sports is fun. Sports ball, it's funny because like in the U.S., like American football is what a lot of people tune into. I lived in Denver, Colorado. The Broncos play from there. I'm not a fan. Everyone else is like a sports fan, and it's interesting to think. But like even though soccer or football seems like a worldwide sport, it's still very like sporty. So there are people that live in these countries that don't watch football or don't watch soccer, similar to how people like me in the U.S. don't watch American football. I don't know. Okay, we have exactly 20-ish. Well, you know what? If it's tied, then can anyone tell me in the chat if it's tied, will they go into overtime or will they immediately go into a shootout? If they go into a shootout, that would actually be really cool to visualize because they would actually be scoring so we could see it. I don't know. Let me know. I have very little time to make this app. Let's make an app. We could use the view CLI. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a very simple app. So with the new view CLI, you can actually just create an app.view and then serve it up. So in this app.view, I'll just like scaffold it, and this will say, "Hello football," and we'll throw a little soccer ball there. Cool. And you can do npx view CLI serve and then the name of the file, and it will just serve that right up with like a Webpack build, which is cool. Okay, overtime, then shootout. Okay. Did anyone tune in early? So I watched the was Russia versus Spain. Did it go into shootout? Because when I was watching in like the 94th minute, and it was still tied 1-1. Oh, Russia wins on penalty. So it went into overtime and then went into a shootout. Wow. Lass. Hello, Lass. Welcome to the stream. So it goes 2 periods of 15 minutes. I don't know. Hopefully no one scores in the next 16 minutes. Okay, so I created this view app. Now, which is pretty cool, it just kind of like serves it right up. So I don't really have to generate an app or anything. I can have a view component file and start coding inside of it. So that's pretty cool for like rapid prototyping. All right, first thing, let's find an undocumented API. So I'm gonna open up the DevTools. I'm gonna look at, first, notice. So here's the thing. When your app is running in production, you shouldn't be logging things to the console. You should have some way of turning that off and not doing that. But, you know, anybody can be a web developer these days. So even this website, which probably has millions of people looking at it right now because the World Cup is a worldwide thing, is logging in the console. Regardless, let's look at the network tab. So this thing is apparently like real-time live, so I'm just going to clear the logs. And notice something just popped up. Vote for man of the match. But on the network tab, we can actually see requests that are going out. So there are various APIs here. Let's look at this live statistics. Maybe that has some information. So this URL has what I'm guessing is like the match ID. And the response that we get back, okay, the response is actually like HTML. So we would have to parse that if we made a request there. Let's take a quick stretch. Infesiantestinal? It's far away. I can't read it that well. I still butchered it probably. But I wanted to code something up real quick. So I'm going to figure out what is the API that they're calling. And we're going to make a simple app that shows the real-time score. And if it goes into into a shootout, that would be cool because we can visualize it live. Well, actually, the final score for the last game still said 1-1, even though they went into a shootout. I don't know, but let's find what else is in here. This is an endpoint. Has what I'm guessing are like match IDs in there. But we have the away team, we have goals. Okay, so this should be able to give us the score because we have the score of the away team, and then we probably have the home team, and we have the score of the home team. So like if I make a request to this, I could just make a request here like every 5 seconds to get the latest score and show it on the page. Let's do it. So right in here, for my view app, I'm going to go into the mounted method. So this method runs when the component's added to the page. And let's just create a variable for our API. It's going to be this. This app is only going to work for this match that's happening right now. So, okay. And we need some data. And for now, well, this needs to return an object. So let's just have like results initially is an empty object. And then when the component is mounted, we fetch the API. Then we get back the response, turn it into JSON. Then we get some results. And let's say this dot results equals results. And we'll show the results on the page. We'll put like a little pre-tag. And right inside of there, we'll just do results. So on this page, we broke it. So in Vue.js, we can only have a top level element. So let's put this inside of a section. Okay, cool. So in our own little app here, we're getting back real-time results. Well, not real-time. We're getting back information about the current match that is happening. So if we make a request here, we can keep getting the score. So let's just show the current score. For the home team, we have the picture URL. We pass in the format and the size. So I want like a simple little UI that's that's the images on both, and then like the score of each one below it. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Denmark is going to win. France will win. Belgium's going to win. Yeah, lots of World Cup chat happening in there. Let's figure out what URL we can request to actually like get the team image. So like really, I want like this image. And actually, we can see, if we compare that to the thing that it gives us back, so the format is FWC-208, and the size is 4, and the name of the country. And this will actually give us back that. What if we do like size 10? Broken. What if we do size 8? Nothing. What if we do size 6? Okay, well, guess we'll just have to go with what they give us. So here's what we need. Let's do, on our data, we're going to have home team. And this will be an object, and we'll have away team. This will be an object. Let's do it. Is this kebab case, underscore case? Okay, so we have our away team. And we're just going to pluck some properties off of there and put it on. So home team will have a score of 0. And actually, no, they're just empty. And then when we get back the results, we're going to set them on our data. So we can say something like this dot home team equals results dot home team, I think. And similar with away team. And I think they capitalize it in their API. We'll see. So it's home team and then away team, I think. So now let's just show the home team and the away team. Let's do like, we'll do a section. we'll have a left section and a right section. So we'll put a section in there, and then we'll put another section over here. And then this will give us a class of team. And we need that on both of these. And then our team class will just have a width of 50%. And the display will be inline blocks, so they're side by side. And right here, we're going to say, let's show the home team. And right here, let's show the away team. All right, what do we get? Okay, so we've got side-by-side JSON. That's great. Really, though, we want to show the image. So given the picture URL, actually, ID country, we should be able to just pass it into this. So let's have an image. The source is going to be, let's just say get image for team.country ID. And then we'll make a method called getImage. Takes in country ID. And then just returns a string with that, and then the country ID appended to the end of it. But I need to make sure that this is right. Oh, this is going to be home team. ID country is what it should be. Hey, cool. And so we need to do the same thing with the away team. Really, we should just make this a component, but should be good enough. Okay, we got home and away. Is the score still 1-1? Let's see. It is. Okay, 6 minutes left in the game. Okay, so we got home team, away team. Let's just show the score nice and big right below it. So let's do like a nice little paragraph tag. We'll do home team dot score, I think it is. And then same thing right here, away team dot score. Capital score. You know what? I hate API. Like I very much dislike APIs that capitalize their properties. Like why would you do that? 1-1. Cool. Let's do some simple centering. So team, let's make this, actually we'll display flex, and let's see what happens. Whoa! Don't want that. I think we can just do a text align of center. Choop. Cool. And I don't think there are any other results that we want. I think this is basically it. Okay, let's make it a nicer font. Just do sans serif. Cool, so that's nice. And the font size, we'll bump it way up, like 3 Whoa, okay. And then let's not show all that JSON anymore. Cool. Let's get rid of this. And let's give, wait. Now really this can just be like the top level. Let's give this a class of scores. And let's give this a little bit of margin. Top. 3 Even more. You know what? Let's give this a, no, you know what? I'm gonna put the parent back. So that way the parent can have display flex and put it like right smack dab in the center. So scores, margin top 3, display flex, justify content center. Okay. Align items center. we need to make the height of this be the whole height. Okay. Ivan is asking, is there any info in that response that says who scored the goal and what time? Actually, there is, because let me just log these to the console. I'll log all of the results because we can expand it. Right now, I'm looking at the score property. Score here is just a number, but I believe there's also a goals property. And if we look in goals, each individual goal will tell us the ID of the player that scored it, how far into the game they scored it, and then we might need to find another API that will give us the, what do you call it? The player information, given that, actually, is it in here? We have players, yeah, so we could search through the players, find that given ID, and then show their name. I'd be about that. It seems like, is anyone watching? Do you know if there's going to be, like, how much stoppage time there's going to be at the end of it? Yeah, because instead of just showing the score, we could show each of the goals and who scored it. That would be fun. I want these to be separated a little bit. Let's give it some padding. 2 M's. Ooh, that's too much. Well, that like pushes it out of the flow of 50%. Padding 2%, and then we'll make this 46% width. Yeah. Does it tell me their name too? Team name. Denmark. Let's put the team name above the team as well. Let's do a nice little H1. This is really interesting. It's .team name and then it's an array. .description. Did I do that wrong? Oh, capital description. Yeah. I really should make this a component, but we're speed coding, so not. Croatia, Denmark. Why did my spacing go away? Cool. Okay, so let's show below. Oh, what's happening? Oh, can't read property. Let's only show these if home team.team name exists. Because when the page loads, it doesn't exist. It's an empty object. Okay. Let's catch up on the chat. Watching the game and the stream at the same time. Okay, it's fun. Now I think we can let's display the goals in between below the score. So if we look at it, there is on the given team, there's a goals array. So let's iterate over that. So we'll just have like a div here. And then we'll have like a p tag that gets repeated for every goal in goals. So home team dot goals, and so for every goal in home team dot goals, let's take a quick stretch. I really should be able to put this into a component. I think I can put it in a separate file. Let's show the goals for the home team, and then I'm going to pull this into a separate component because I keep copying and pasting for the home in a way. And then let's show just the goal right there. Okay, so that works. Let's first move this into a component. So new file, we'll call this team.view. Just a nice little template with this in it. And then it has a script, it has a props, which is team, and that should be it. So now everywhere we say home team, we'll just say team, and then I think that'll do it. We need to bring in this get image, but now that it's inside the component, this can actually be a computed. And we can just do team.id country. Okay, so now right here, we're going to say we want a team. And the team prop is going to be home team. And then here we want another team, and that team prop is going to be away team. But then we need to bring in the team component, import team from the team file. And then we need to register the component team. Did it break? Team is not defined. Oh, this dot team. Hey, got ourselves a component. Okay, so now we want to show. We need a way of getting the actual player that made the score. So in here we need to store it. So let's say like players is an array, and then on the results, for a given team. Oh, so I can do it inside the component because team.players is an array because we're going to need to find the player that has that given ID. So inside of here, we'll have like a method called getPlayer. And just check real quick, how are we doing? End of second half. Okay, so it's going into overtime. 3 minutes of stoppage, and now it's in overtime. Cool. Question from Mayur, what's the difference between methods and computed properties? So computed properties only get calculated when the things they depend on change. So in this case, because I brought that method into this component, now I don't need to pass anything in. I can just use what I have access to, and this will just create this URL once, and as long as ID country never changes, this function will never run again. When I had it as a method over here, every time we re-rendered, if we need to re-render, it would have to run that function to get the URL. So this runs once, keeps the value. A method would have to run every time the page re-renders. Okay, so we're going to say getPlayer with some ID, and then let's show the player right here. We are showing ID assist player, ID player. So let's say get player. So we pass in the ID, and then we need to return this.team.players.filter. We want the player with that given ID. Does this work? No. This.team.players, we want to look at ID player. Cool. So, whoa, what just happened? I think it's because it's so giant, but we're grabbing the specific player, and can we just pass in player name, locale, description, short name? Let's do player.player name at 0.description. player name. Let's not call this get player. Let's call this get player name. So the player is going to be that. For now, let's just return the player, but I also want to log the player because I want their description. So, oh, duh, grab the first one. I think I can do instead of a filter, I'll do a find, because that will just give me, yes, so that gives me the player, then I can return their name. Player name at 0 dot description, capital description. Capitalized, cool. All right, so that is showing the name of the player that scored the goal. Let's also show, I guess, the time. Because we're only showing the name. Let's just show the. I want to log the goal so I can have access to it. I guess I still have access to it in results. So home team goals is an array. So we have minute. Let's just show the minute. Goal.minute. Nice. And let's make this a little bit smaller. Let's throw a template in here. No, style, sorry. And the goal font size 0.5 in. Just bring it down a little bit. Okay. Let's do like goal dash player name. Cool. So that's cool. So that this shows us all of the goals. Was there anything else that we wanted to show? Because now we're at the point where we just request the latest every like 5 seconds, and if someone scores, it'll pop up here. We'll see their goal and we'll see their score, right? Let me know in the chat. Idea: show goal time, player, and yellow card. Ooh. So goal time. Let's see. Do we see or do we have penalties? Yeah, I'm curious where we would see. Oh yeah, let's see if we can. Do we have the game time? Yeah, what's the current time in the game? Winner, stage name, stadium, match time. Yeah, so let's show match time like right at the top. Let's put all of the results here. Empty object. And then just like an H1 right here. $92. Well, actually, do I want to show it there? Yeah, and then we could center it. Whoa, that's too much. And let's create a header class. Font size. Oh, not dot font size. Font size. 2 M's. Actually, the font family and text align center and font size. I'm going to put all of this just like on body. Let's do this. Body has that. Okay. It's way too much spacing though. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, because it's I think it's my Flexbox. Yeah, my Flexbox is spacing everything. Okay, this is the Flexbox. Align item center. And then this is the child, which I don't know. I could actually, maybe it's okay if I put it there. Yeah, I don't know. We can mess around with it. Oh, Ivan has said TV feed is delayed and they're not in the 93rd minute yet. 94th minute. Okay, so now that we have this, let's start refreshing the data. Okay, yeah, and Sharon was also recommending showing the yellow cards. I don't see anything that is like, penalty score. Away team, penalty score. Home team, penalty score. Oh, you know what? We might need to use the penalty score if it goes into penalty shots. I think we're going to have to do that. Hopefully we still see the goals. We'll see. Yeah. I'm not seeing anything for like that, but that's better. Let me get to this margin top. Okay, cool. So it's great. Now let's just start requesting the data. Hopefully no one scores, because then it'll go into a shootout, right? No, because it's in stoppage time right now. Or no, it's in, let's see. It's now in overtime, right? Ivan is saying red cards, yellow cards would be under bookings. Let's see. It would be like home team, bookings, none. What? No one's gotten any yellow cards or red cards for the home team? And then away team, bookings. Yeah, neither of the teams have them. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll start refreshing the data though. So let's throw this into a method like get scores. And then in my methods, I'll have get scores. That just does this. Oh, this dot get scores. Okay. And then actually when it's mounted, I'll do this. And then at the end of getting scores, I'll set a timeout to get scores again. Let's take a quick stretch. So I'll do set timeout in 5 seconds. Just call this dot get scores again. And let's have like last retrieved. We'll have a date, and then every time we get the scores, we'll say this dot last retrieved is a new date. So we can save that up at the top. So like a little small right there. Last retrieved dot to time string. I don't want that. I want it to be inside of the header. And we'll do like a little break right there. And this has a class of like time. And then time will be teeny tiny. 0.5 ems. 0.1 em. There we go. So the time is 16:04:31, 16:04:36. Cool. Okay, so we're getting the latest scores every 5 seconds. Yes, Jason asked what I'm using. I am using Vue.js, and right now I'm using like a very rapid prototype way of doing it, where I didn't even generate an app. I just created this file, and the Vue CLI just allowed me to start coding. I'm going to stop logging things, though. We don't need the results. We were logging the player. We don't need that anymore. Okay. Now we wait. We're in the 99th minute. It's still 1-to-1. I kind of want to put the this up too, just to make sure that mine are correct. Because the one thing is, I may have to look at a different property if it goes into shootout to show the shootout score. Because okay, let's log results again. And I actually do need a key on this. Yeah, we'll log the results. Because there was, I saw it earlier. Whoa, second half extra time, no. If we look at home team, yeah, so home team penalty score and away team penalty score. I'm guessing if it goes into shootout, well, no, those aren't, shootout isn't penalties, right? Okay, so that is what they call it, penalties? Yeah, I'm hoping that when it goes into penalties, goals are listed inside of this array, because then we will see them. We'll see them pop up. Okay, so, and actually, it'd be simple enough. Let's just put in parentheses what is the penalty score for the home team and the away team. We also need, so we'll need to pass down penalty score. We don't know if it's going to go there yet. This is results dot penalty score. Well, home team penalty score. And then here, we also need to specify penalty score, and we'll just do, in parentheses, penalty score. Okay. Can I display the image of the player who scored the goal? Probably can. Because right now we're grabbing the player. Let's see what other properties are on the player. So player I have ID, player name, shirt number, short name, special status. That doesn't give me the image. Does results have like player images maybe? So like away team, players. No. Oh yeah, Ivan is saying we could look at the Russia team's response, Russia game's response to see if it went in, if the goals were listed in there. That's a good idea. We want to keep this one open, but we can go back to the game that happened earlier. This one, and look at the network. Really, we have the match ID. Will that just be this? I think so. So we've got stadium, weather, home team. Yeah, okay, so the penalty goals are listed in the goals array. So we should see them when they if it goes into penalties. Yeah, let's figure out how to get the player images. It's probably possible. Like, oh no, those are the correspondence lineups. Let's copy image address. Can anyone tell me who was the player? Oh no, that was Spain versus Russia. In this game, Mandzukic is the one that scored for Croatia. Mandzukic. So if we look at Mandzukic, copy his image address. This might have the player's ID in there. Let's see. Because we're logging player line 28. Yeah, so this is Mandzukic, and if we look at their ID player and ID team, the URL that we need is this. So ID player goes right here, and then we don't even need the ID team. Yes, we can show the player's image. Here we go. So right here, let's show a little image. Right now it's probably going to be gigantic, but we'll make this, well, let's say this, get player image. And we pass in, oh, you know what? I'll have to find the player and let's just do this. So I want that whole thing, but what's going to be different is the ID right here. And this is going to be goal.id player. And that, hey, look at that. Let's make them smaller, but we actually see the images of the players that scored. That's awesome. Let's give this a class of player image. And the height here is going to be like, I don't know, like 50 pixels. We want it pretty tiny. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Sharon is saying, show which round it is, like round of 16. Yeah, can we figure that out? And actually, I do just in terms of styling. Let's do like the minute it was scored, and then like a break, then the name, and then the image. Yeah, like that. That's nice and formatted. Well, let's put their image above their name. Yeah. We are in the 105th minute. Yeah, so the round that we're in is probably, it's probably in the result somewhere. I could work on my styling right now. Everything's just centered. That's okay though. But if you look at, I think there's match information, match day. Stage name. Is that the, oh, there we go. Round of 16. I want to put this at the very top. So which is my, okay. Scores is my flexbox here. I really want to put like a header above that that's not in the flexbox. So let's do this. Let's have a section where that's inside of it, like that, and then just have like an H1. How's this look? It's really big. I guess I don't like, oh, does it have, it has margin. Why does it have margin? Class equals round. Round name. And then in here, round name, we'll give it a smaller font size, like 1M. And for whatever reason, this has some serious margin. No margin. And then scores. Yeah, so we found stage name. I'm gonna put it here. How's this look? Let's look at where we can find that. Yeah, so results dot stage name at 0 dot description. This is super interesting. One thing about what I'm doing right now is hard coded in my API request is the language. Really, I should grab the locale of the person viewing the page, because then I could grab it in their language. Oh, Wemo is saying H1 elements have margins by default. That explains that. And then the other part is this is like a flexbox, so it's like there, but regardless. So right here, we only want to show this if results dot stage name at 0 or length. Yeah, if that exists. No, if stage name exists, then we're going to show at 0 dot description. Oh, that's wrong. Capital description. The round of 16. Cool. Oh, now why is the spacing off? I should put it like in a table or something like that. That would have made it really easy. You know what? Like, I mean, I could probably put it in the flexbox. But like, I don't know. What if I put this at the bottom? I think I like that better, but why? Why is this one higher than the other one? I think it's because this wrapped. Let's make the the player name even smaller. Class is goal. Let's make this like a little span. Class is player dash name. We're gonna make their name even smaller so it fits all on one line. Or not on one line, just smaller. There we go. Question from Ashfaq. Are you going to do machine learning topics anytime soon? I hadn't planned on it, and I mentioned this earlier. I just have a lot of stuff that I kind of plan to do and that have been suggested. So I don't have anything anytime soon. But if you like that kind of stuff, definitely check out Coding Train because he does a lot of that. Oh, good call. So Sharon is asking, did you add a sound when there's a penalty or a goal or a new goal? I haven't, and I should. This will be. No, I think we can do this though. Basically, are they in penalty kicks yet? I don't think they are, right? They're just in overtime. Oh, there's 15 minutes of extra time, and then it goes into penalty kicks. But I should. So here's what I need to do. We have the latest results. So let's say before we overwrite them, before we overwrite all of them, if results.hometeam.score does not equal this.hometeam.score. So the score has changed. And I think that's the right thing. Capital score. We're passing in team. We're showing score. Yeah, okay. So if the score is not equal, home team scored. If same thing for away team. Really, I can just check all of these in one and just like play a goal sound. Goal! So if the home team or the away team scored, that should light up. If the results dot penalty if home team penalty score does not equal this dot home team penalty score, and these should be ors. So if any one of these things happen, we want to play a sound. And then we'll do away team. So we're checking the incoming request versus what we already have. And if any of this stuff has changed, then we know that someone scored. So let's play a sound. Oh, Ivan says I'm checking away team against home team. Oh, you're right. So this should be, good call, away team. Home team, away team, away team, home team, away team. And so results is what we're getting back from the API. So that's the new stuff. And this dot results is the old stuff because we're storing it on data. So this should tell us if it changed. Okay, let's find a go. And we'll play that sound clip. Let's see what happens. want to hear somebody yelling, "Go!" You know, like the announcer.
Goal!
No, that was lame.
Goal!
Does anyone know of like a famous announcer that I should search for and like find a clip for them? Record my voice? I could. Why not? Let's do it. What do I have? I can use QuickTime to record my voice. New audio recording. I guess the only thing is if it's not an MP3. Oh, refresh my app. Was there a goal? Why? I shouldn't have to refresh it. It's not in the official API yet. Oh, there's about to be a penalty kick. I need a sound. I need a sound. Okay. That's so unfortunate. Is it for you know which team it's for? All right, let's just watch my app because we should see the goal come in, and then yeah, I could convert to an MP3, but right now I just want to log someone scored, so that should log. All right. So Denmark is getting the penalty kick. Here, we'll do this real quick. Just see if I can get a sound. Go! Go! Okay, so let's save that. Well, actually, can I export it? Export audio only. Just put it on my desktop. It was blocked! Okay. I don't. It'll be really fun to watch the penalty kicks come in, I think. Is it on there? Go! All right, do I have Audacity? Can iTunes convert to MP3? Let's see. That's fine. Okay, okay. Song, delete from library, convert. Can the browser play AAC? Does this say AAC? MAPEG 4 audio. What's the file extension? You know what? I'm just going to drop it in here. I think the browser can play M4A. Let's see. Create a new audio. I think I can just pass in goal.m4 audio. I don't know if it's going to be served up though, and just do like audio.play. Actually, let's just do this when the page loads to see if this will actually work. mounted. Can I make a request to goal.m4audio? No. You know what? I might have to host it somewhere. Hustle. People tell me to hustle. So yeah, I can't. The browser apparently does not understand M4 audio, so I do need to convert it to MP3. We're still in overtime. Oh, this is gonna happen when the. We need to say like first is true, and then so if not first and all of this. Basically, what I'm fixing is when the app first loads, it tries to play the sound anyways. Oh God, what did I do? This dot first. It tries to play the sound because the score isn't the same because before there was no data. So now I need to basically keep track of if it was the first time. Does anyone know to convert? Yeah, online M4A to MP3, please. Cloud convert. I feel like I've used this place before. Yes, this is a good place. Oh man. FIFA app, goal. Okay. Go. Actually, will they give me... I think not only is it that it doesn't necessarily support it, I'm curious if Webpack, you know what, here, I think here's what I can do. I need to import it. Goal sound from, oh, but then there's probably not a Webpack loader. Let's see. And can I do this when it's mounted?
Go!
Okay, so it works. That's awesome. I can load it with Webpack. That's badass. Okay. So we're all set up. If someone scores, you're gonna hear me yell it. Okay, it's going into penalties now. All right. Now is the moment of truth. Does our app work? Here we go. The suspense. All right, I did miss some messages in chat. The Jeopardy song. Do, 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 do. Is saying talk about Easy Fetch while we wait. Yeah, so I actually haven't used Easy Fetch in any of my recent videos. I decided to make it one day and then haven't used it since then. But on NPM, I decided to make a package called EasyFetch, which basically is just a wrapper around fetch. One of the things about the built-in fetch is, and you saw me do it in this app, you have to do res.json to parse it as JSON. But I wrote a little wrapper that looks at the response headers, or does it? It looks at the response, and if it's JSON, it parses it as JSON. If it's text, it parses it as text. But it handles that automatically, like a lot of other Ajax libraries do. And the other thing is, fetch by default, if you get an error, will not throw an error, like a response error code, like 500 or 404. It'll actually just go into the .then, because technically it's a successful request. You just have to check the status code. So this library is a wrapper on top of it, and if the status code is not 200 or an okay status code, then it'll actually throw that into catch. I wrote this, haven't really used it much, but it's out there. Round of 16, I put it at the bottom because of like the spacing. It was at the top. I just moved it to the bottom. That happened at one point. All right, if they score and we don't see it within like a couple of seconds, please let me know. Okay, they're about to get started. Okay, I thought it was happening and we were just waiting for the scores to pop up. You know what's gonna happen though? A goal is gonna pop up and it's gonna like shift. Yeah, it'll shift. You know what? Let's do this. On my styling, I think I can get rid of this, because that way it should be the full height. Yeah, and so it should be able to go down and down and down. Just to test it real quick. Let's put yeah. So this, once we get a lot of goals, it'll start looking like that. Okay, go back. I'm okay with that. All right, now we wait. We sit back. Oh, they're going to do another coin flip. I see. Ghost says, your videos are great. I've learned loads watching you through Code Wars and building apps. Seeing your thought process is super helpful. Awesome. Happy to hear it. This was a fun. This turned into a very fun stream. I think like the idea of like coding this while the game is actually happening, that was super fun. Oh, stand aside. I'm blocking the Denmark goals. Okay. Denmark is shooting first. He's walking up to the ball. I'm not going to look at the chat. I want to see it if it happens. I guess he'll tell me if they missed. He's looking at the ball. Miss! It was saved! Oh, wow. Okay, so nobody. This one was a miss. I'm gonna turn off the logging because I think we're good. Shouldn't have to look at the results anymore. Okay. All right, so Denmark missed the very first penalty kick. Croatia is going up. Oh, it was saved too. Wow. Wow. What happened? Do they just keep doing penalty kicks if no one scores? Because they do 5, right? All right, so that's 2 misses. Actually, I'm curious, do we get misinformation in the result? Like penalty miss? I guess we wouldn't. There's probably another endpoint that gives you like more fine-grained details. All right, Denmark's up for another another try. Okay, so after the
Go!
awesome, Denmark scored. And Christian is saying after that, there's 1 penalty for each team until there's a winner. I see. It worked! It worked! Cool. And yeah, and so our penalty score is working too. Styles are a little bit off. Ideally, those would be like all the way. The stuff would be all the way at the top. But wait, Croatia scored too. Wait, here it comes. Oh, the data isn't there yet.
Go!
That's too funny. All right, it's tied up. Samir is asking who is maintaining this API. This is from the FIFA World Cup website. So, like on their page, where all this like live information is coming from, we're using the exact same API. Oh, I think another. Denmark scored another one.
Go!
Christian is saying this is way more fun than actually watching. I guess I could get. Can I close this? How would that look? Someone scored.
Go!
Oh, the suspense. So that's 4 shots each, right? So this is the last shot. If Denmark misses and Croatia scores, they win. Vice versa as well. So if Denmark scores and Croatia misses, Denmark's the winner. If they both miss, it goes into another one, right? We need an overlay that fades goal. Yeah, we need like confetti and like emojis everywhere. Ivan says his dog keeps hearing the goal announcement and like looking over. He's like, what is this nonsense? Denmark just shot. I guess that means they missed. Yeah, it's 5 each. They both missed their very first one, I believe. Yeah, I think we're not getting this information, but his penalty saved by the goalkeeper. Wow. We probably could tap into this. This real-time API is a little different because it's actually giving us back HTML instead of JSON like the other API. Josh Jones says we need air horns. Actually, I'll open the DevTools just so it's easier to see. Yeah. Croatia just shot. I think they missed. Croatia sees his penalty saved by the goalkeeper. Wow. Okay, so this goes into, this is the, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there are 2 more? Yeah, okay, 2 more. 1 for Denmark, 1 for Croatia. I thought that was already the 5th one. Okay, 5th one. I think they missed. Wow! Denmark sees his penalty saved by the goalkeeper, Jorgensen. I think that was. I shouldn't have looked over. The internet API seems to be a little bit delayed. I see a chat happening.
Go!
Croatia wins it in overtime. Wow. Yeah, so I looked, I saw it happen here before I saw it on mine. But yes, Croatia wins. This is like a small, like there was a lot of blocks, right? Comparatively to a lot of shootouts that happened. I don't know. I watched like it was like a Mythbusters style thing that talked about like in shootouts, the ball is going so fast that the goalie literally has to decide which way to jump before the player kicks the ball. So it's almost like random. Like they're gonna choose. They don't really know. They can look at signs, but the ball is coming at them so fast, they literally have to guess. But Croatia wins it. Dang, not a good ending. I didn't get to watch the actual game, so I don't know how the actual gameplay was. But my app worked. That's cool. I could deploy, so just to talk about the app that I built. It's technically reusable. I just need to be able to change what is the API that we're calling, because this is this specific match. And actually, I guess as a demo, I could get the match ID of the game that happened earlier between Russia and Spain, and the data should load into my app. Let's see that happen. So, World Cup, game from earlier. This is the match ID. If I change this right here, then my app, wait, what? Cannot read player name of undefined. Oh, weird. In the data that comes back, is there no home team? What? Weird. Let's see. I want to see what actual data we get back for. So we've got stadium, weather, home team, away team. No, it's still in there. Well, let's log the results. I just wanted to show that like my app should work for any kind of data, but let's see why it's not. So there's a penalty score. There's an away team. The error I'm getting is cannot read property player name of undefined. So maybe we can't actually, for whatever reason, it can't find the player when it's trying to show their picture. So we'll say like if player, do that. Otherwise, nothing. Okay. Yeah, so games that happen tomorrow, we could plug in. There's probably a way to figure out which, like what are the upcoming matches, and I could have like a little drop down that chooses, you choose the actual match, and then it shows you like the results of the game, or you can watch it in real time. Yeah, Ivan is saying there are more saved than normal. Yeah. Okay, well that was fun. I'll definitely push this code up, throw a link in the description. I'm excited about this. Like the fact that we were like watching the game as I was coding, and then we were able to see the penalty kicks. That was fun. Awesome. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I do plan to stream more regularly this week. Like I'm moving into my apartment tonight. Things will settle down a little bit. I don't know for sure what the schedule is going to be, but it is going to be a little bit different than the schedule that's currently on this website, because this was when I was streaming from the mountain time zone. Now I'm in Eastern time, so I have to stream a little bit earlier than this. But I'm going to take into account the subscriber poll that I put out. So everyone that took that, you told me your time zone, you told me the time you like to watch. I'll try to take that into account when I'm deciding when I will stream. But just watch the YouTube channel, watch Discord, live stream schedule upcoming. All right, see you later, Ivan. Thanks for all the tips, and thanks for tuning in. Ayan is saying host it on GitHub pages. I will, yeah. I'll push it to GitHub and then put it on GitHub pages. I'll be accepting pull requests. If somebody wants to like add a drop down to choose a match, we might have to hit a different API endpoint. I want to put it back to the game that just happened. Yeah, we might have to hit a different endpoint to get the match IDs of previous matches and upcoming matches. But then we could just be able to flip between matches that are happening. Cool. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Like I said, keep an eye on YouTube. My upcoming stream schedule will be posted there. And I'll see you next time. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And I'll see you next time. Here's this.